defender spawn to kick this one off. So you may bet that the energy is going to be pretty high for these guys, to at least to start the series.
Yeah, I did feel a little bit sorry for Zilv in that moment as sort of like the creepy guy in the corner just watching them do the huddle, just like, oh,
That's
look.
always Zilv, though.
He's like the odd one out, the guy who didn't get picked for the team. It's like, oh, yeah, sorry, it's 5v5 and there's 11 of us. It's a bit awkward. Do you mind just watching? Either way, we are right into our pistol round. Sorry, Zilv, I love you, really.
Not the first time you've asked Zilv to just watch, but anyways, there's a wall going down. It's covering the entirety of the side, but as it drops, Meadow is able to take down one from above. The fights are going FNATIC's way, and the plant should now be found. They've got that ice wall deep to cover Vodafone Giants from being able to really spam them out, but there's a little bit of a gap that Fatino's been able to walk through. This will hasten up the pace on going back in for the retake. In fact, Fatino is hastening it all the way. He's going right back to yellow before his teammates are anywhere nearby, and it's the opening duel already in his back pocket. FNATIC want to play the post plants here. They want to run that clock down, and you can see the shock darts and snake bites on their way, but they've already got it diffused halfway on the Vodafone Giants side. Unfortunately, they won't be getting it the rest of the way, Tom, because they get destroyed in those late round duels.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm back. I cut out there, so you're going to have to give a little bit of a replay of the round. Technical issues seem to be the plague of everyone's lives. I'm hoping that's just a blip on the radar, but we'll see. I also, hopefully production can tell me if I'm back live to everyone else, because it actually just cut everything out for a sec, so fingers crossed. It's all good.
Hopefully people can hear you, otherwise I'll sound like I've developed a sixth personality. But anyways, for FNATIC, they're on the attack side now, so they had a pretty easy time when it came to the pistol, right? They get down, they play their post plants, and they don't even need to, because then they just dominate in duels. Now they're looking to rinse and repeat the same strategy, moving towards the B side. Lots of open space, so no surprise that that's where they want to take it up against this weaker buy from Vodafone Giants, who have actually invested a decent amount. They've gone for some upgraded pistols, they've gone for a Marshall as well, but Tom, there's not going to be a reward for that. Well, you wouldn't think there would be a reward for that, but they have come out with the opening duel, dropping Boaster. Even despite a couple of players on low HP, this could be FNATIC in a bit of trouble. If they lose even one more player, it will already be a successful round for Vodafone Giants, and there's the drop by Hoodie. Hey, pretty decent round already shaping up. Let's see what more damage they can do.
Oh, God, this is starting to get a little bit scary now. Hoodie's now managed to pick one back. Doma is in a bit of a dicey spot. One kill goes his way, but they're looking to try and surround him. The question is, do they have time? It looks like they might be. All right, it's going to be incredibly close, but I think they might just about... Oh, that's so unlucky. 0.12. FNATIC, you've got very, very jammy in that round.
Yeah, they've lost a lot. Let's be clear about that. Weapons drop. They lose absolutely everybody. So reinvestment in this round is going to be huge. It's going to probably leave them with a weaker economy than Vodafone Giants have. But at the end of the day, they didn't get the round on the board, and I think that's going to devastate David P, because he actually jumped on it really quickly. The snakebite was still up, and he jumped in there, sacrificing potentially his life, but getting away with it as the snakebite faded away. Sad thing being that, well, they lose the round by 0.12 of a second. There's not much you can do about that. Coming into round number 3, you can see the economy for FNATIC, Tom, is pretty shaky after losing all those players. In fact, they've got 2 Spectres and a Bulldog and a Guardian alongside their Vandal. Vodafone Giants are ahead in the economy game, and this isn't a bonus from FNATIC. They've had to invest everything.
Yeah, it might look like a bonus, but it definitely isn't one. Durka with a rifle, though, we know what he can do, and well, Doma's been on fire over the last couple of days. We've seen the double Ds coming back in full strength once again, and well, I'm starting to get a little bit worried here, because Boaster's Lurk is also going to find another pick, and they did so well in what was just a small investment round, but FNATIC have gone, all right, that's enough now. We're just going to go back to what we do best, which, for anybody who doesn't know, is winning.
It definitely is, at least here in the European region. When it comes to FNATIC, having 5 players alive here, they're actually going to go even further and look for these weapons. They want to hunt down Vodafone Giants, and oh, they've got great info off that. Magnum able to get himself a kill, and Cloudburst giving Fatino away, and there'll be some upgrades there for his teammate. Overall, not a bad bounce back, considering how poor round 2 was. They've come out of this with, I think, 2 Vandals, and they're going to be able to buy up onto the rest of them while Vodafone Giants take an eco.
Yeah, that's the problem now. That was all of the round before basically came down to now punishing Fnatic. For anybody who doesn't know, I think it's been said multiple times, it is Doma's birthday. So make sure you go and at the man on Twitter on birthday and wish him a happy birthday.
At him on birthday.
You know what? He's 18 years old and yeah, he's better at video games than I will ever be, no matter how hard I work. And I'm very jealous, so, you know.
Oh, my! Fatino! He's taking
right.
the fight right to Fnatic. The updraft dash play, and they're out of there. That's how you start an eco. Now, unfortunately, he will be dropped on the way back, so the weapon's not going to be retrieved. But Ambi in with another. Okay, this is starting to look pretty doable for Vodafone Giants. Another round where they've got a low buy. In fact, not even a buy. And Fnatic are into, well, a 4v4 after using a res.
Yeah, they brought it back to a winnable position. It does just seem like a lot of these, like, more aggressive plays that are working out at the moment for Giants are just almost catching Fnatic off guard, but they've quelled things, they've slowed things down. They do have to be careful of Hoodie's Marshall though, Mitch, because we've already seen that he can definitely make this weapon work, and in fact, they're actually going to commit a lockdown. Of course, if it guarantees the round, I don't think Fnatic...
Power of the Marshall is strong, but it looks like this time around, Meadow's going to be dropping the backside, leaving Hoodie without the ability to really do anything. He's not on the site just yet, playing over towards the spawn, so it's going to run the clock down as they hope for an angle to be given. Durka offers that one up on a silver platter. Vodafone Giants have David P coming on the flank as well. He will be spotted, but he still gets the kill out of it before going down to the turret. Hey, it's worthwhile to put it into the 2v2. That's spam. It connects onto Magnum, lighting him up even further. Vodafone Giants aren't going for the defuse instead. They want to close the distance, and Hoodie gets in Magnum's face. This is so winnable now. Shock darts going over. Boaster will stop them right there. And it looks like they've still got time. Just about time. Oh god, that was close. But 3-1 we go. How is it the Vodafone Giants look so much better when they've got the Marshals out? Hoodie, drop that Vandal. Take a Marshal right now, man. So I think we've lost Tom, but he'll fix that up. I think we'll all be happy to have a moment without his negative attitude, you know? It's always nice. But with 3-1 on the board, Fnatic are not in a great spot, honestly. That previous round, you would have imagined, would go towards them pretty easily. And these roadblocks that they're hitting in the early... Oh, no, Meadow! That is awkward. Somehow these roadblocks seem to just fade away when it comes to Vodafone Giants having rifles. A very quick play through middle from Fnatic. They overrun the site, but Mystic does get dropped. They'll be able to plant the spike still, earn up another point towards Doma's res. David P kind of sandwiched though. He's stuck between the site players and a little bit of a lurk coming out of Boaster. And at this point, he has to try and fight on one of the fronts. He'll come to his teammates to try and force it on the site and then use that as a bait. Boaster sneaking up behind him, catches him off guard. Quick kill onto Hoodie, and it is another pretty clean round from Fnatic. I mean, I'm just lost. Really and truly lost at this point. How can Vodafone Giants end up killing all of Fnatic both times that they have an eco? Winning one of those two and almost winning the first one with just 0.12 of a second between them. And then it comes to the stage where they've rifles in their hands and they lose, getting maybe one kill. It's ridiculous. The fact that they still have a little bit of extra cash, I'm sure, helps them out in the more traditional sense of the game, but I can't help but feel like Hoodie without a Marshall's a round loss. But obviously he did a lot of damage in the one before with the rifle. Let's see how this one... Well, that's not a great start. Hello, Tom! You've returned!
Yeah, I hope that fixed it. I did the classic thing of turn it off and turn it back on again.
Pulled a high pop.
Don't worry, I'm not trying to go to bed faster, chat. I know that that's a copy paste that everybody seems to enjoy. Apologies to Hypok, of course, for stealing his shtick. But fingers crossed, everything's looking good now. And it seems like Fnatic is still just winning, Mitch. I don't know if I've got
Tom,
that one right, but it looks pretty good.
You have no idea what we're witnessing here, man. So while you were fixing that, we've had Fnatic win out the rounds versus the full buy of Vodafone Giants, obviously. But obviously they had that round versus an eco where they almost lost by 0.12 of a second.
Yes.
And then they did lose to the other eco in the post-plan. Vodafone Giants managed to get the defuse. So
nice.
And kill all of FNATIC. And then Vodafone Giants had a full buy the next round and lost, only getting 1 kill. So it's been weird. This was sort of a mixed buy for them. They could afford a couple of rifles, but for the most part, it's an eco. They've spotted Ambi going above, so that's another Vandal going to be dropped. I think Durka was confused as to how he got up there. But with 5-1 on the board, you know, you could glance at this and think, oh, FNATIC are dominating Vodafone Giants. Cool. But it's not really the case right now. It's a very close game when it comes to the eco rounds, and I think the pause we're seeing come in is probably Vodafone Giants discussing with themselves,
yeah,
what are we doing wrong when we have rifles?
Do you know there's something that I needed to bring up actually on the broadcast? It is about Durka, a magnificently talented man, but he made a joke, I would say about a month ago. I was saying the only thing I'm better than Durka at is being bald, and he said, I'm going to beat you at that too. Now, I took that as a joke, but the man has genuinely shaved his head, and well, you actually brought it up to me earlier. He pulls it off, and I'm not going to lie, it does irritate me. It really, really does. You can't be that good at Valorant
That's my
and
thing.
then also steal my one. Like, I know Ryan's trying, but let's be real. Like, come on, man.
Ryan's not fully
I've got the
committing,
board
though.
on lock.
That's the problem.
He's not gone all in. He needs to shave everything. Not a single hair on his entire body.
Ryan's like...
head.
Ryan's like... Ryan's like rolling the dice. That's it. Like maybe one day he'll wake up and it'll actually be growing all around, and he's gonna be chuffed. You know,
he's gonna borrow some of Upmine's hair and then come back with like his own full head of hair.
Yeah, funny
and
thing
you
about
wouldn't be
that.
able to tell with Upmine because I don't know how much hair is there, but I feel like it's an unlimited amount.
I like this. This is an adaptation on the Viper ultimate, right? They're going to wall up David P, put him in a position to just pop that ulti and completely block out this site. Contrary to what we saw before, though, Tom, when some teams tried this by doing it like up on top of the blocks, you don't need a 2-man defense anymore when you do it that way. It does cost you the wall, obviously, but it means that your Viper can now solo hold both alleyways, which is invaluable, really.
Well, it seems like, unlike a lot of teams who will try and risk and play through it, FNATIC have just decided, you know what, if you're going to try and lock down the B site, we're just going to go pushing directly into A. Now, there are some pretty quick rotations here, but Doma, after one trade, has already managed to bring this into a situation where they have the site. The only thing they have to worry about is Vitinho, and he's gone as well. The peak not working out for him, looking a little bit disjointed at the moment from Giants, and while the hero play has almost turned him into a villain, because now Doma has his res, and that brings back Durka.
Strong player to have online, Tom. Plenty of time.
He's pretty good
on that clock. They don't have their wall to work with. They don't really have anything to block vision. It's going to have to be duels that are taken over on the Vodafone Giants side, and unfortunately, those duels aren't going their way. That's not a round thing. That's more of a series thing. FNATIC 6-1 up. And despite the fact that, you know, those eco rounds have looked pretty close from Vodafone Giants, and, well, Tom, there should be one coming up, right? So they're going to win this one easy.
Hoodie's going to drag him through. He's off to a pretty good start. Someone I was definitely excited to see. I think also, for me at least, like Meadow and David P are people I remember all the way back in the beta. So I'd like to see them back on the top once again. Of course, Meadow previously being in FPX. And if you didn't know, David P was on this team called G2. I think they did quite well, at least historically, when he was on the roster. So actually, people could say that when he left, it all went downhill. So maybe he was the chosen one after all.
They could. I'm not sure that would be strictly accurate, but they could say
Who cares about accuracy? Like, we care about stories, Mitch. That's the important thing.
We don't need the truth. We just need the
That's
story.
Ryan's job. Ryan will tell you the truth. I'll make it sound nice.
Hoodie has pulled this weapon out again. He has been unbelievable with the Marshall in hand so far. The 3K up against the rifles they initially pulled out, and he's come in and dome it to start this one. Hunter's Fury frantically searching for him, but not finding. Now Meadow, with the pistol in hand, I have only seen that man run at enemies and die instantly. This time, though, he can be a little bit of flack for Hoodie to play off of, you would imagine. But no, Hoodie's just running on the site. This guy's confidence is through the roof right now. And as the Reyna, I suppose, that's what's needed. They're being picked off. One. Ow, my.
What?
You can't do that, man. Straight through the smoke. At least the rest of it seems to be leveling out decently, leaving David P all by himself. A 1 versus 2, a sheriff in hand, and practically no time to get it done. It is 7-1. But you see what I mean, Tom? Like, I don't understand it, but Vodafone Giants look so much better when they're playing an eco. When Hoodie is a marshal, he seems to get 2 kills minimum every time.
Has Hoodie heard of this gun called the Operator? Because I don't know about you, but I have a feeling it would work quite well for him.
Yeah, I think it did. I think
would
that's
even
all
say
he did when he came to Valorant originally.
Maybe give him that.
I think he's heard of...
I've seen Vitinho have it in this game so far, so
Yes.
maybe switch up. No, never mind.
So, yeah, obviously Hoodie, when he came into the scene, was playing the Operator a lot. He was playing the Jet, and it makes a lot of sense for that guy. Transitioning over from Counter-Strike, where he was opping. Like, it fits. So does Vitinho. He fits into this roster nicely, and an opening duel is something they'll be very happy about. But despite that, they're still playing aggressive. David P going up, using the Opera essentially as a bait. So these players will be so focused on him, they forget that there's another player on this site. He's even swinging out further. David P, the double to bring Vodafone Giants miles into the lead. Finally, it feels like they have a foothold in a buy round.
They've still got to be very careful, though. Magnum on the lurk is always as deadly as ever. The sneak through the smoke is going to bring things back into a 3-on-2. Still an advantage in the other direction, and, well, this duel could be everything. Ambi, though, he's going to play this calm and collected. Already done enough damage that he can afford to fall back, and David P almost went a little bit wrong, but he finds his 3rd kill of the round. His aggression, his positioning has been nigh on perfect, and while Magnum, he's not so sneaky anymore.
Yeah, he'll be caught after that one, and a 2nd round found for Vodafone Giants. Even an eco res coming in. Keep that Operator alive. Now, on the Vodafone Giants side, obviously Hoodie has been doing a pretty damn good job. What's surprising me is how sort of aggressive. Yeah, I think that's the right way to put it. We've seen Meadow playing. Because for me, Meadow, obviously due to the role he was playing specifically, this was such a good lurker. This is a guy that can really get behind you and mess you up. But now he's playing middle on ICEBOX, and so far, it doesn't really seem to be netting him a whole lot. That's disgusting by Durka.
They're checking their corners this time. I'm not overly surprised. Like, no, don't worry, guys. I have checked. David P is not here. And while he almost single-handedly won them the round in the previous, they are going to be able to seemingly, I was going to say trade ultimates, but they didn't. So, okay, the ult's going to stand. It gives them at least a little bit of extra space. And actually, Meadow does win that duel. It's only going to be a trade for now. But FNATIC, well, I feel like Dome are currently just working out where they're going to be planting this one, because he's been switching up those walls quite regularly.
Yeah, it makes it difficult to really make these sneaky plays that Hoodie's trying, but he's managed to make it over, and no one's there. He's now realizing that this is going to be a bit of a fake play, but Doma doesn't get the kill he was hoping for. The A side already taken over by Magnum, but the cross is being watched. Magnum able to catch that kill, which drags the rotate immediately. They'll get the site, they'll get the plants. That was a really unfortunate situation, honestly, for Giants, because when they used that Hunter's Fury, they didn't account for the lockdown being put up on top of the box. That puts them in a tough spot then, not being able to deal with that. They have to give up the B site, and that means essentially they give up A, because they're getting ready to retake B, and so the players have already rotated out of position. Great on the feet thinking by FNATIC. It now puts them in an advantageous spot, the clock ticking away. The drone, at least, oh, it spotted both of them.
Thing is, though, just the amount of utility that's about to go down on this spike. This is something that so far Giants haven't been really able to deal with. Nice work from Hoodie, though. It's left all onto Mystic. He's only got one snake bite available. Needs to peek for the kill, and Ambi is holding the angle to make sure nothing comes of it. This time, they are going to be getting the defuse through, thankfully, and Giants have now got themselves a 3rd round on the board. And in all honesty, if they can get to 5, it's a pretty decent half, especially considering the start.
I like the shock dart on the spike there as well. Just before they get to the site, they pop it down. It destroys all the nano swarms that were there, and that pretty much ruins the post plant that Magnum was hoping for, so he has to peek out wide. Does it a little bit early while the snake bite's still active. I think he was trying to catch them running to this spike just as they started the defuse. A slight slightly mistimed on that. But overall, from FNATIC, you also see the adaptation that's now going to make Fatino feel much more uncomfortable. And I think probably why you see him on the A side at the start of this round, because on B, they used that drone early on. And again, the drone is put through on the B side. It's clearing it out. It's spotting that there's no jet operator there. There is a jet operator on this A side, both for the attackers and the defenders. And Dirk has already given that one away.
Yeah, they actually don't play the full lurk this time in Magnum, so it almost baited Hoodie, I feel, a little bit to feel a bit more secure in that moment of finding that initial kill. Instead, though, it's a bit of a slower round, some pushing and probing from Boaster. And he's hit the timing pretty good to make it over to yellow. But yeah, as you said, they've basically just gambled this round completely on Fatino. He's a man who definitely can step up to the plate, but he needs to hit this first shot and get out of there, and that's a bigger problem. The timing of pushing through the screen catches David P completely down, and they're actually just going to go and collect the orb. But that's a fantastic shot. So important. Denies the res, but he loses his life and the A site.
Okay, the good trade there, at least. That's heartbreaking, man. The jump, you're only visible for half a second. Did he see Meadow coming across? Is he ready for this? Oh, he certainly is now. Meadow coming around the right side for Durka, who's just backing off again. It's going to be one of those nasty post-plant plays. 2 snake bites and 2 shock darts still online, but they might not even need the utility if Durka keeps fragging like that. Ambi getting shock darted up on top and taken down by a wall bang. 8-3 we go, and FNATIC are looking incredibly dominant on the score line, despite some of these rounds being pretty damn close. Vodafone Giants haven't got the reward to see for it. And you can see a little check-in on our other game, 10-Star versus Team Liquid, tied up 5-5. 10-Star putting up one hell of a fight.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that team. We got to see them in some of the earlier qualifiers, and they had like a few cool little ideas that I'd never seen before, which I'll be honest, especially on a map like Split, you see a lot of things repeated again and again. So they definitely caught my eye, but what they're currently doing, the damage they've done, the teams they've beaten, they're a prospect. And if they can somehow make it as one of the top 2, that would be a huge statement.
This buy for Vodafone Giants is really weak. It's featuring 3 Spectres alongside the Vandals. Hoodie not on a Marshall obviously is not a good thing. All jokes aside though, Fatino is looking for that little bit of mid presence, jumping around but not managing to catch any connections. They're going to set into a late round default, and this default will have a heavier stack towards the A side. FNATIC have put up, oh, that's what? Come on, how? My only question, I only have one thing to ask, that is how. At least he's dealt with eventually, but they don't know. Okay, never mind. Well, yeah, it's dealt with, and they're going to get the planted.
We're also going to see the elevated Viper's Pit once again, or did he fall off before he actually used it? So never mind then. Not going to be using that one, but still, they have an advantageous position. Now, the Spectre's actually pushing into the Viper's Pit might not actually be that bad of an idea. Get the closer range angle, and the Shock Dart's trying to clear out maybe some of the people, maybe some of the utility, as you mentioned already. For now, though, it's the fallback from the majority. A bit of damage being done, and Magnum just trying to hold a bit of a snaky angle, but Ambi is more than prepared for it. And the problem, though, is they've still got to clear out Doma and Mystic.
Yeah, just playing inside that Viper's Pit. Look at this Meadow on 1 HP playing with the classic, but Durka has a much better chance of winning that fight when he's on 1. 9-3 we go. Decent half by FNATIC, you could say. Very, very strong one indeed, considering that the struggles they had were versus those light buys, versus the ecos, essentially. And
basically versus the Marshall. You can just say versus the Marshall. It'd be easier than that.
To be honest, though, even if we give that round over to Vodafone Giants, like, if Vodafone Giants won that round where it was 0.12, you're still looking at an 8-4 half, you know? Like, it's not being the best for them. And I would argue that if they don't get the pistol here, they're going to be very, very unlikely to take this map.
Well, that is one of the things I've been a little bit curious about, because people talk about the honeymoon period, but I think also for Giants, nothing has gone wrong yet. Like, sure, they've had close games, they've had comebacks, yada yada, but they haven't been just banged out on a map. They haven't lost a map. So you never really know how that conversation is going to go, whether or not the positivity drops, whether or not all the good things that David P was talking about, like everybody's communicating, everybody's chipping in. Well, that's very easy when you're winning. I would know. I'm like that when I play. Like, when you're winning, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. When you're losing, dead silent. You get a little bit in your own head. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. Obviously, they're slightly more professional than I am when it comes to playing. But that is besides the
Slightly
point.
better.
Just slightly. It's close.
A little bit, yeah. The thing that interests me about this Giants roster, though, is they have some good results. As we said, though, this pistol is going to be very, very important. They've managed to get over towards the site, but the post-plant setup, or the pre-plant setup, I suppose, from FNATIC is keeping them completely off it. They can't get the spike planted just yet. They've also given up too much control to really rotate back at this point. It would be a big gamble if they go for the A site, because at this point, FNATIC could easily have pushed down mid. In fact, I think Vodafone Giants were gambling on that. David P, starved for cutting off lurks, for playing that back line, and he is, well, he's back pretty much as far as he can go. Playing so his wall is up for his team and holding the bag for any flanks. But FNATIC are being incredibly patient, sticking with the 3-man setup here. And Meadow is tagged down to 1 HP, then shock darted inside that poison orb. It's so good. They thought they were out of snake bites, so it was easy, but it's anything but. There's 6 seconds left. They need a plant right now, and there's no time left. Vodafone Giants have lost the pistol, and FNATIC have just displayed one of the best stall plays that you will see. That was absolutely gorgeous from the FNATIC side, and now they've got double digits on the board before Vodafone Giants breach 4 rounds.
Well, they've always been the king of after plants. It seems like they're looking for another crown, which is just the king of no plants when it comes to the other team. Because this was just so rough. Like, there's so many positions that were just being held. The initial plant, I felt like there was an opportunity to get it down, but it just almost got denied enough that they fell away from the initial plant. And now it's put them in a spot where, well, they were just battling uphill from then on. We do have an investment in some marshals, though. So maybe, just maybe, they can bring something back here.
Yep, statistically, this is where Vodafone Giants are most likely to pick up the rounds. Let's see if that's going to work out. Yeah, the other thing actually about the last round, why FNATIC were able to delay for so long without actually burning up utility, first of all, the patience on their side to not just feel like they need to keep throwing in their shock darts and all that, but also the fact that I think they sort of read that Vodafone Giants were holding for that flank play. Oh. They were ready for it. And Boaster, the 2 people that he killed also had marshals. That's the thing. It's not like he took a fight versus pistols. He took the fight versus a pretty even, actually disadvantageous spot. Durka had pushed up A at the very start of this round. He's been on a very, very late flank. And he got the reward. 3 versus 2. Still winnable, though.
Oh, that was a nice try. Considering that was, again, just like a few marshals invested in and they should have a buy round. Like, that really isn't too bad coming out from Giants. The problem is, obviously, you have to look at the context. Like, getting it down to just 2 players remaining. FNATIC have so many rounds to get this over the line, and we can even just start talking about individuals, not even just as the roster as a whole. Do I genuinely believe that you're going to be able to deny players like Durka or Doma from winning 2 rounds and a half? Probably not, but I'd give them that. I'd give them the benefit of the doubt. So it's going to be a really rough uphill battle. And actually, the investment in the last round might be a little bit more than I expected, because this buy kind of sucks coming out from Giants.
Now, FNATIC are just playing a different level on ICEBOX here. They're ready for everything that Vodafone Giants want to do. When Giants hold for flanks, there's no flank. When Giants commit to a site, there is a flank. When Giants want to play a little bit of map control late in the round, like we saw it where a couple rounds into the first half, Hoodie tried to make a play through middle when there was a lot of B presence, but FNATIC were lurking there and waiting for him to do that. It feels like Vodafone Giants are on a different tier, essentially. I think that's true for most European teams. It's just hard to play the mind games that FNATIC want to play because they know your team better than you probably do.
Well, good luck, David.
Yeah, that was ambitious.
Just so much utility just falling the second he goes to try and do anything. We're already seeing
think
the rotation
maybe
also coming in through mid, the push through A. Like, they know exactly where this is going at this stage. Now, David might be able to force Mystic out of the corner. He's actually just going to patiently wait to avoid the bullets. Just making sure that they're not going to hand anything over on the other side. Although, I was going to say Boaster might get caught, but never mind. He's just cracked ahead with the Marshall, and they win that round flawlessly. I guess bring on Bind.
Yeah, it's kind of felt like that the whole series. Like, I really don't feel like we're watching a game on this map, and it is very much FNATIC just dominating when it comes to the understanding of the map, of how to play the game, of what Vodafone Giants are doing. They have better reads every step of the way. And my question is that a map-specific thing? Is that something that Vodafone Giants can bounce back on when it comes to Bind? Well, I think so, because it's an easier map to play in general. The problem is you're playing it against FNATIC, who are kind of like the Bind team. I mean, they were the only ones to really compete with Sentinels even for a long time. So I really find it difficult to see Vodafone Giants bouncing back in this series.
Well, it doesn't look like it's getting any better in this map, at least. Already, Fatinho is going to lose that initial battle to Durka once again. It seems like a classic Durka showing. Just free roam around the map, taking battles. Ambi, though, with a nice shot at least. We'll get rid of Boaster. There's still a multitude of players here, though. Like the rotation even coming in to bring Doma back. Hoodie is going to turn this into a winnable spot, but they don't expect Magnum to still be close. The trade, quick, and Ambi again has turned this into what is at least looking like an extra round. So a 4. Maybe bringing it slightly closer like Ryan wanted, because I remember at the beginning he was saying, watch when this is a 13-0 now. Well, you weren't far off.
Yeah, you almost predicted that one spot on. Let's see if Mystic can make the clutch happen. Nice shot.
Oh, no.
That was a beautiful start to it. Slowing it down, waiting for someone else to push. The time is going to be the big issue here. He's not facing into much post-plant utility. You've got 2 shock darts to deal with. But the real issue is just that clock is running down. The wall is going to keep him in the open when he goes for it. And of course, he's got 2 players to try and beat out. They peeked together and he even got the first one. So that came very close indeed. At the end of the day, it is a 4th round for Vodafone Giants. And that means absolutely nothing for them because they need 8 more in a row. So before I really start to believe in this team, I'm gonna need to see them hit double digits.
I wonder if we can cut back to Mystic's cam, because it looked like there was like a man living on his shoulder, like just in the background. If that just wait for his cam to come back up and just have a little look. The man will probably have disappeared, but it does sort of look like an almost floating head just living on Mystic's shoulder. Just something I thought I'd add in, because we're now going to come back in with a firearm for FNATIC, and well, so far they have won most of those. Oh, he's gone. He's disappeared. Is the man gone?
Tom, I think you're hallucinating.
It's possible. Like after the internet issues I've had, I think I've just lost it.
Yeah, I think you've lost your mind. I'm calling an ambulance, so hopefully you'll be all right for the second.
You know the emergency number in Ukraine?
173. Am I close?
I don't know it either, so we're both stuck.
How do you've lived there for over a year, man? What are you doing? No, you lived there way longer
the
than
round's
that.
going, Mitch. Let's move on.
How many years you lived in Ukraine? How many years? Quickly. How many years?
Who knows? Mystic. Wow, this is incredible. He's dominating. He's found himself 3 kills. And Hoodie is going to be the last man standing. It is going to be a dominant victory. It wasn't quite the 13